Hi guys, it's Suzanne here from Light Little Bird & Co. And today I want to talk to you about pendulums. Often people say, oh, they're fabulous, but I really don't know how to use them. So today I want to give you some nice, neat tips and tricks on how to work with a pendulum. Now, the pendulum isn't something magic. It is a crystal, but it doesn't have to be a crystal. You can actually use anything on the length of a chain or a string, something that you can actually get this sort of action from. Now, what we're doing when we're working with our pendulum is we're accessing our higher self or our soul. And then what we're doing is our higher self will then send information down into our conscious mind through really tiny autonomic responses, which will actually make the pendulum swing different ways. So obviously the first thing we need to find out is what is a yes and what is a no. When we ask questions, we really want to ask questions that can give us a yes-no response. So every time you pick up a pendulum, I would suggest that you check what is your yes and what is your no, because they can change over time. So for today, I'm going to use the words, I always put I wonder in when I'm asking a question of the pendulum, because it takes some of my own personal desires out of it. So I wonder if you can show me yes. Now let's see what it does. Okay. So that is my yes today. And then I'm going to ask it to stop. Now watch the top of my fingers. I'm really not moving anything at all here. Now I'm going to ask, I wonder if you can show me no. Now let's see what we get for that. Okay, so this one's a circle. So see how they're very different. Can you show me no more strongly? There we go. There we are. So we can see what a no is. Now it's a little bit difficult because I'm holding it up a little bit here. But let's just ask a really simple question. I wonder if I'm female. All right, there we go. There's a yes. Stop. I wonder if I like chocolate. There's a yes again. I wonder, stop, I wonder if I have a dragon for a pet. And there's a big no there. All right. So you can ask any question of the pendulum and access your higher self. The problem is sometimes when we're really invested emotionally in a situation, we're going to get the response that we desire rather than the response from our higher self or our soul self. So what I would suggest you do in those instances is write on a piece of paper. You could put yes and a no on a piece of paper, or two situations, the first situation might be stay in my job. The second situation might be leave my job. And then you can mix them up so you don't know which one is which. And then place your pendulum, so it's called blind dowsing. Place your pendulum over the paper. Is this the correct path for me? And you will get a yes or a no. And so, interesting enough, I'm going to give a yes. So that is how you work with the pendulum, and it's a fabulous way to kind of sweep past the ego and sweep past our desires and connect quickly to our higher self. But just the trick is use words like I wonder and be really conscious of when your mind is taking over. Try and stay really detached from the situation so that way you get your best and clearest response. You can use the pendulum for all sorts of things, even to, I wonder if I should buy the red or the blue dress, or the green or the pink crystal. And there's other ways that you can use a pendulum in terms of clearing chakras, finding holes in your auras. There's all sorts of different ways that you can douse for things. But this one is a really easy and simple way to connect to your higher self. And they're very cheap and fabulous little tools in your spiritual practice. Have a fabulous day.